today I want to talk to you about these shoes. These shoes, which were worn by this girl. She was 3 years old. The picture was taken in 1912. As you might imagine, this girl grew up. Here you can see her when she's 95. What's interesting about these shoes? These shoes belong to my beloved grandmother, whom I called Nana. Other people called her Florency. I spent a lot of time in my life trying to fill her shoes. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about why and what. I'm going to start by telling you that, in actual fact, Nana, and if you don't mind, I'm going to keep calling her Nana because I don't know what else to call her except maybe Banana. Nana was actually a rather banal woman. She was born on a farm to turn-of-the-century farmers. She had 2 little sisters. She had a high school education. She worked for a bank during the Depression, got married after the Depression to her high school sweetheart. There's nothing extraordinary to say about her. What I can say is that she was the typical mid-American, mid-century housewife. She was also the typical, if not the stereotypical, grandmother. I can remember, for instance, when I was a little girl, going home from school with my best friend Katie on Thursdays, we would stop and see Nana. And if you had been with us, you would have been able to smell, as we pushed open the door, the odor of those freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. Run with us to the kitchen as we could see Nana pulling out the tray just in time for our arrival. As we ate those chocolate chip cookies and drank our cold milk, we could watch Nana puttering about, because Thursdays was bridge day. The bridge ladies were coming, and everything had to be perfect, because that's just the way one did things. And once everything was absolutely in place, she would go and freshen up, and she would even put on her little serving apron, because that's what one did. She was the typical mid-American housewife. So, what's the interest for you? Why am I telling you this? The reason I talk about Nana is because there's something special in the way that she lived that mundane lifestyle. The way that she was simple and yet was able to bring her soul out to everyone she met. She was heartwarming and she was special. She's a lot about what I believe about life. For me, it's about, her motto might have been just simply share. Share what you have. She shared her smile, and she shared her heart, and she shared them truly with everyone she met. More importantly, she shared them with me. Unlike me, however, Nana never had anything bad to say about anyone, no matter how hard I tried. It's not that she didn't think or didn't feel. It's just that just as she accepted her own inner soul as it was, she accepted other people as they came. She never looked either for fulfillment through things and possessions. She didn't have to reach deep down inside and try to stuff something in there, because in actual fact her body was flowing, overflowing with love as it came in and out of her. And that was all created by the connections that she had. Some of those connections lasted a very long lifetime. And some of those connections were passing instants. But how did she do it? What was it about her that created all these connections? I think, again, going back to her inner soul and her acceptance of herself as she was, allowed her to trust in herself, to believe that she was worthy of sharing. And by being worthy of sharing, she did share. And she shared love and happiness. And sometimes that was just a simple smile. Sometimes it was a helping hand. I remember when I was little, Mr. Maurer was quite ill. And he had to go to Cleveland to the hospital. And Mrs. Maurer couldn't drive. And so he was there for 1 month. Nana drove her every day for a month to Cleveland, which is an hour away, and back. And kept her in the home so that she had someone to share her time with. I remember when Fat Dottie, the woman who worked for my grandfather, stole a whole bunch of money from him. And Nana didn't see her again until it was time for the trial, and she just embraced her. I remember going shopping with Nana and the effect that she had on everyone that we met. But for me, the real proof of success came much later in her life. It was when I went to visit her and she was 96, a year after this picture was taken. I went to spend some time, just the two of us. And while I was there, I spent 8 days there. Every single day I was there were at least 4 people that just barged through the door. Hi, Florency, how you doing? Oh, sorry, didn't know I had company. We'll come back another time. For me, I was able to witness what she had lived all her life that was coming back to her. We might today call it pay it forward, but pay it forward somehow implies that you're doing something good in hopes of getting something good back. I don't think Nana ever thought she was going to get something back. That wasn't the way she thought. Another thing that happened during my visit with Nana was that she opened her soul to me in a way that she probably didn't do a lot. We sat on our living room floor and she told me stories. She told me the story of the day that she gave birth to her stillborn daughter, alone, at home. She's told me of the moment that my grandfather took his last breath, as she held his hand and stroked his bald head and cried her silent tears. And she told me how proud she was to have me as the daughter she never had. So ladies and gentlemen, this evening I'm here to honor and to thank my Nana. Because for those moments where I doubt that I have anything to offer, and there are them, they do exist, I can look back and I think of Nana in her shoes. And I can think, you know what? Maybe I can fill those shoes after all, in my own way. If I allow myself to feel vulnerable, to put myself out there, not just like her, but thanks to her.
Okay, so if we could now take a minute to fill out